far when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good health.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. And of course, with me is my fellow Titos of Fighting, JC Reyes from Destroy MNL. JC! JC!
What's up?
Ayun!
Monday ulit.
Kanina pa kami nagta-trial and error ng mga
Oo.
kung ano-anong dapat namin gawin kasi nagkaka-technical difficulty kami.
Oo.
So ngayon,
May mga
ayan,
bago
naayos na
sinusubukan
namin.
kaya to
Ayan.
better produce.
Yan, gusto namin kasi maganda yung production value namin for everyone. So please, thank you to everyone who's been watching and listening. Please make sure to share this live conversation, okay? This live discussion. We are going to talk about so many things. Ayan, salamat po. Yan, yung mga nag-comment. Ayan, ayan. Kung hindi niyo po kami marinig, please put it in the comment section na hindi niyo
Pasabi na lang
kami
sa comment
marinig.
kung hindi nyo kami marinig.
Para maayos
hopefully
natin
narinig kami
ang
na maayos.
Ayan, we have so many things to talk about. We got local and international boxing news. We got local MMA news. We are going to discuss a lot of the things that happen in the world of combat sports. We're going to break down the fights, the fighters, and tignan natin what insights can we learn from all of those experiences. Yes, thank you so much. Yan, may mga nagme-message sa Facebook. Yes, we will do our best to share it on different parts and different Facebook groups. Oh, yan, ito na. Ayan, teka lang. Ano yun natin? Okay, we will
May mga nagtitiwala na sa atin actually na Facebook groups lalo ngayon na nito lang actually itong umaga lang. Ginawa na rin nila tayong administrator dun sa group kasi nga, I guess.
Nice.
Naniniwala sila sa atin.
JC Reyes making shit happen. Okay? Making things happen. Tsaka ano rin hindi ko na mag-gets yun para sa akin talaga, it's when people are part of these groups and yung ano na lang, yung content na lang. Okay, don't get me wrong, marami ako nakikitang content creators na maganda naman, marami ako nakitang maayos gumawa. Pero yun din, marami rin basura. Di ko talaga ako like,
sobrang doing it for the money. Alam mo yung makikita niyo naman kung yun.
Diba? Talagang parang sabi ko, what? Sabi ko talaga, medyo na talaga, ganito na ba to? I mean, ano rin yan it goes both ways. So, I really hope na well, feeling ko rin naman maaayos yan kasi ang dami rin namang magagaling na content creators out there. And
saka,
they're really
nagiging
good.
mas wiser na rin kahit papaano mga audience. Natututo na sila from what they're seeing all around YouTube and social media. Kaya there will come a time hindi nagagana yung mga medyo dumb ano matawag ito? Na dumbed down na mga type ng content for na ipoprocess nila.
Ang yung teka lang ang napapansin ko rin, yung iba, pare, nagsisiraan pa, naghahatakan pa pababa. I'm like, uy. Sabi ko, teka lang, anong nangyayari? Sabi ko, what the hell is happening here? Okay? Sabi ko, teka lang walang nakakaangat dito, walang, di ba? Kanya-kanyang lang yan kanya-kanyang diskarte, kanya-kanyang paglabas ng content. Syempre, depende na rin yan kung basura ba or maganda yung content na ilalagay mo. Pero, I'm like, bakit I'm seeing a lot of people who are covering boxing events. Yung iba naman, kumukuha ng boxing content tapos they're putting their own spin. Nilalagyan nila na sarili ng diskarte. Wala ring masama doon. Lalo na kung maganda yung kalalabasan. Pero yung parang palalabasin mo, ikaw lang yung dapat. Ikaw lang yung may karapatan. Kasi ikaw yung kawawa, ikaw yung medyo yun
parang ikaw lang credible pinagmumukhang
ganun. Medyo sablay yun Tsaka ang tawag dito, there's plenty of room for everybody. Para sa akin yun.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room for everybody. I'm seeing a lot of really good content creators in boxing, in Muay Thai, in MMA, in other combat sports. Talagang sabi ko, at least umuusbong na ngayon na marami nang gumagawa ng maayos na content. So, yun yung very good sign. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng nasa iilang tao lang. Paano kung pangit yung ilalabas nila, 'di ba? Paano kung pangit yung balita? Paano kung pangit yung content? Di kawawa naman yung audience, kawawa yung mga boksingero. At the end of the day, we're doing this para sa community. We're doing this for the fighters, we're doing this for para sa kultura natin. So,
kaya nga din, di ba, maraming choice, even sa mainstream na mga news, maraming choices kasi hindi lahat okay. Or meron
so you got your
content na
mainstream
magiging mas
media.
okay kaysa dun sa isa. Parang
You
ganun.
got your mainstream media, you got your independent media. So, we are going to do a lot of conversations. We're going to talk about the recently held PMAF, Jonas Sultan versus Paul Butler, Errol Spence versus Dennis Ugas. Kasi parang hindi pa natin na-cover yon. And then, what else haven't we talked about?
Yung possible na mangyari kay Casimero at this point. Since
ayun, Casimero, the whole Casimero,
hindi siya nakapag-comply dun sa WBO. Ayun.
Diba? And then, there's a really good fight between Liam Harris and sino ba yung nakalaban niya recently sa one? That was a really, really good fight. Okay, that was a really, really good fight.
Ang hirap sabihin ng apelido ng kalaban.
Ang hirap sabihin ng pangalan eh. Teka lang gagawa natin ng effort yan. E-effortan natin yan. Hanapin natin yung pangalan nung kalaban ni Liam Harris. Baka baka murderin tayo nung
magalit sa atin.
Magalit sa atin yung
where is that name? Ayun. Muay
Thai PK Sanchay. Yan. Diba? And of course, ayan, meron tayong special guest, okay? Speaking of content creators in the combat sports industry, this one's really, really good. She was our guest way back and we were very thankful na nandito siya ulit. Baby Dynamite Sports, Rica Aquino. Rica.
Ay, nakabalik na pala.
Pinakakalad ka rin na boxing content creator ngayon na nakikita namin. Okay?
Parang, ako nga. Hi, Franco. Hi, JP.
Whenever I see Rica's post, I'm like, wow, this is really, really good. Kasi isa ka galing, Bohol, tama ba?
Yeah.
Okay. So, boxing app, dun muna tayo sa mga lakwatsa ni Rica. Rica, please let us know, let everyone know what you have been doing, what have you been fighting, what have you been covering. I see a lot of local tournaments that she covered together with Real Fight PH. Yeah. So, Rica, please let us know what you have been up to.
So, yun nga, for the past few months actually, dami nangyari. So, all over the Philippines.
Lahat ng oras na yon, lahat ng na yon. This is para malaman ng lahat ng tao kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa local boxing scene natin.
Yeah. Yun nga, beginning of the year, actually, we've had a lot of boxing events already. This includes UKC's event. You're there also, di ba, Franco?
Yes.
Di ba, what an event that was.
Grabe yun. That was really, really good. So, Rica did the coverage for Elorde TV. I did the coverage for VSP Promotions.
Di ba? That is so, grabe. I couldn't even, kumbaga parang, hanggang ngayon, I'm still taking everything in, diba? Everything that happened in that event. That's actually a great way to start the year. So UKC, we had Charlie Suarez and of course Carl James Martin and Ben Ligas. That was a triple header event. And then after that, we had Sir Bebot Elorde's event, which was headlined by Pete Apolinar.
Yes.
Which is now we have
the new champ.
Yeah, the new champ in another division. So imagine he
Mm.
was before a OPBF featherweight, silver featherweight champion, and now he is OPBF super bantamweight champion.
Mm.
So that was against Junriel Ramonal. And then after that, I went to Cebu to support Norge. So Norge is
Oo, si
our,
Norge Guro, 'di ba?
yes, she is our new WBC silver atomweight champion. No? She won against Denise Castle. So I went to Cebu twice to sort of like, hindi ko alam kung anong role. Ang dami kong role doon eh. Parang cheerleader, um,
Nagkaroon po ng social
friend.
immersion si Rika Aquino doon. Actually, when it comes to the story of Norge Guro, we would like to
Mm-mm.
dive into that. That's why we wanted you to
Mm,
be here, and you are the
yeah.
best person to narrate
Mm,
her story. Sige,
yeah.
for
Mm-mm.
the benefit of everyone who's watching and listening, who is
Mm-mm.
Norge Guro? Like, kasi for example, ako, I've heard of him.
Mm-mm.
I've seen her fight a couple of times.
Mm-mm.
Pero that's the thing about female boxing,
Mm.
the women's boxing scene in the Philippines. Hindi siya
Mm-mm.
ganun pa kasikat. So
Yeah.
I've seen her, I've heard about her, I've seen like one or two fights, pero
Mm-mm.
hanggang dun na lang. And
Mm.
then the
Mm-mm.
only reason or the only time that I saw her was when you posted about her, and I go like,
Mm.
naglalaro pa pala to si Norge. Okay, so
Yeah.
please. That's why I'm very happy when you did that piece. Go, please tell us the
Mm.
story.
Yeah, so yun nga, Norge Guro was our WBC Asia champion, no, atomweight champion. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back, no. Hindi ko na alam kung
Oo,
ano yung date,
medyo
pero
matagal na yun.
medyo
Matagal na
matagal
yun.
na. That was definitely before the pandemic, no. But the reason why you did not see her for a while was because she nagka-pandemic una,
Mm.
nagka-pandemya. And then after that, she gave birth. She became
Mm.
a mother. So she already has 3 kids. The thing with Norge is, parang feeling ko I'm not the right person to tell her story kasi it's such a pure story. Kung alam niyo lang yung
Mm.
pinagdaanan ni Norge before she got into this fight. Grabe, as in, nakakaiyak because she actually lost her son last year.
Mhm.
Not last year, but actually wala pang 1 year
Mm.
since the fight, no? So she
Mm.
fought last month, namatay yung anak niya a few months back. And then she gave birth to her bunso last year. So
Mm.
so many things happening with her, ano. That's why you didn't see her for a couple of years. And then this offer came, and then yun nga yung sabi niya sa akin eh, boxing was the only thing that kept her going. So she accepted the fight because she had to go on. You know, she
Mm.
can't be meron pa siyang 2 anak na naiwan. And then, yun, so she accepted the fight for the WBC silver atomweight title against Denise Castle.
Mm.
She actually had 3 weeks, I think, to prepare. 3 or 4
Prepare.
weeks lang to prepare after giving birth.
Wow.
Grabe.
After giving birth. Can you just
Yun.
imagine? So
Tibay nun,
she gave birth, I think, 6 or 7 months ago. And then, syempre, after giving birth, you don't really go back to training
Oo.
immediately, di ba?
You have to rest, you have to recover.
Yeah. You have to recover, you have to rest. And then after that, balik siya ng hard training. And then she fought, and then she won. Diba? What could be
Exactly.
a
Ang
better
ganda.
story, diba, than
Oo.
that?
How was the experience of being there, seeing everything firsthand, hearing everything firsthand, and seeing her train, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
Experiencing. Were you able to train with her, or dumalaw ka lang dun sa gym nila?
I'm very lucky to be able to train with her. Actually, yung
Mm.
manager nila, si Sir Gary Connolly, sent me
Mhm.
there to Sir Gary is super super nice. Parang
Mhm.
pinapunta niya ako doon, and I had sort of like a free hand to do
Mhm.
whatever I want.
Mhm.
Do a
Wow.
story about Norge, train kasi I'm also a
Mhm.
boxer, 'di ba? Train, not interview not just Norge but also the coaches there, Coach Bricks, the legendary Coach Bricks
Mhm.
Flores.
Mhm.
And I was also able to go to Omega Boxing Gym,
Nice.
Villamor Boxing Gym.
Mhm.
Ito yung maganda. We brought Norge to Villamor Boxing Gym to meet Donnie Nietes. So they
Oy,
Wow.
always,
okay.
oo.
Wow.
So nagkaroon sila ng parang champion to champion moment. It
Oo,
was
oo.
so, alam mo, Franco, JC, that yung trip ko na yon, I went there twice so emotional. Kasi, yun nga actually kasama ko sa kwarto si Norge. So even after training, we were parang nagkukwentuhan kami, sinasabi niya sa akin lahat ng lahat ng bagay. So I was there for her talaga, not as a vlogger or a content creator, but more like a friend. And I knew how much this meant for her. She wanted to win this title for her son, for her late son. And aside from that, she wanted to prove something to the world that she can do it. That even after giving birth, even after the loss of her son, despite being a minority, a woman, and a manobo, na in their culture, it's not really accepted. Hindi masyadong tanggap for her to be a boxer. Imagine all those, diba? She had to go through all those things for that. So can you just imagine, Franco? It was so emotional.
Tsaka and that's why you are probably one of, if not the best person to actually do that piece, because you're a fighter. You know what fighters go through. You know the experiences, not just the physical toll on the body, but the mental, the emotional, the physiological, diba? The socio-economic toll that it takes on a fighter's body. And at the same time, it's not just the hiatus for Norge. It's the, I mean, these are one of those once in a lifetime opportunities, kumbaga, diba? It's rare for female fighters to get a break. And then this
Definitely.
came at a time wherein she could have easily shelved the idea. Pero she, it clearly shows the competitive nature of Norge and the fighter in her. So I couldn't, kahit ako personally, I don't see anybody doing a better job at this than you. And at the same time, nakasneak in ka ng training kasi lalaban ka rin, so nakasneak in ka ng training. Yan. Okay
And
yan.
also,
Okay
I'd
yan.
like to acknowledge din, Norge had a lot of help. Yun nga, Sir Gary, Coach Bricks Flores, Ma'am Joy, who's Coach Bricks' wife, and then the whole family. Kasi we stayed in their gym and their house. So, can you just imagine, yung immersion mo sa gym, pagising mo, gym na.
Gym na. Oo, iba yun.
Iba
It's a
yun.
different psychology, di ba?
Definitely.
It puts you in a different mindset, in a different mind frame. Anong
Yeah.
pangalan nung gym nila? Tsaka saan siya?
The gym is Noy Pasing Flores Boxing Gym. This is in Mandaue. So Coach Bricks is actually one of the most renowned boxing coaches in the Philippines. No, he is the coach of so many boxing champions, including Malcolm Tunyakaw. Many boxing champions came from the
Anong
Noy
pangalan ulit
Pasing.
ng gym? Noy Pasaw? Tama ba?
Noy Pasing.
Noy Pasing. Okay, major
Correct.
shout out to Noy Pasing Boxing Stable there in Mandaue City, Cebu. Coach Bricks Flores. Hopefully you guys will get to see this interview, and ayan, Rika will always be the main person to spearhead your story. Kasi ako I when I saw Rika's post, sabi ko, "Oy, si Norge lumaban pa pala uli." Bilang sabi ko, "Uy, I mean, iilan lang ang female boxer sa Pilipinas. Iilan lang 'yan."
Definitely.
So pag nakita mo na merong lumaban, "Uy, okay ito And then she
Diba?
won. 'Di
She
ba?
won pa.
Very close
And
fight.
also,
I watched
very,
the fight. It was very close.
mm-mm,
'Di
mm-mm,
ba? How was your
mm-mm.
assessment of Norge's performance during that fight?
One more thing, no? I'd like to credit din Kai Rivas, no? Because Kai is Norge's
Ah,
sparring partner. She's our
mhm.
RP flyweight champion. She's been there
Nice.
with her. Another thing about that, Franco, is the power of female friendships. That's what
Mhm.
we were all there for her. We were, ang ano kasi it's a shared experience. We know what
Mhm.
we go through. So, grabe yung sisterhood na nangyari doon. And also, Marnel Verano, who's also our champion. So all
Mhm.
of the female world champions, kumbaga, nag-congregate to like, so,
Nag-congregate, nagsama-sama.
to provide Norge that support, and hopefully in the future that's what will happen to, if ever, kung sino man sa mga babayang lumaban, lahat kami kumbaga
Tsaka ano
magjo-join
yun, that's a
forces.
great sense of community. That's a huge
Definitely.
tawag dito, effort for all women fighters to congregate and
Yeah.
'di ba, there's a common goal, 'di ba? Let's
Mm,
all focus our attention and our
mm,
resources para dito kay Norge. So it's a
mm,
very very good experience. So after that,
mm.
where else did you go?
After that, yun na nga, I just got home last night from Bohol.
Mhm.
So I got to witness PMI Boxing Stable's Kumong Bulanon,
Mhm.
4, which was their, actually I need to congratulate PMI Boxing Stable kasi halos isang taon pa lang sila. And
Nice.
'di ba, nakapagpalaro na sila.
Nakapag-pa-event na, 'di ba?
At 4, pang-apat na.
Pang-apat na, 'di ba?
Yeah, so the event was headlined by Jake Amparo from PMI Stable and Roldan Sasan. So they are fighting for the WBF Asia Pacific minimum weight title. And
Mhm.
what a night, what an event, ano. Um uh Wala. I'm lost for words.
Did you just cover it? Did you comment? Did you do commentary? Dapat I hope you did commentary.
I did commentary for
Ayan. Kailangan kailangan 'yan yung mga medyo kahit papaano ako kasi, sabihin yung bias ako, pero kasi bias talaga ako, eh. 'Pag basura yung commentary naiinis ako, 'di ko na talaga pinakikinggan, eh. Minu-mute ko
same,
na lang
same.
minu-mute ko na
Same,
lang yung ano,
oo.
eh.
I mean, I can't say I'm perfect actually. May mga ibang times na 'pag pinaparanggan ko yung sarili ko, nagki-cringe pa rin ako, eh, parang, "Huh? Sinabi ko yun?" Parang, "Uy,
Hindi,
parang mali."
gano'n talaga.
Gano'n talaga, you know that, 'di ba,
Live
Franco?
commentary, eh, 'di ba?
Mm,
You will say things on the fly, you have to improvise. So it's a clear indication of how hard it is.
mm,
That's what I'm doing my best to explain to people, especially 'pag nagla-live commentary ako. Yan, kasama ko si Johnny Amba of PH Boxing Corner.
mm,
I always tell them even during the broadcast na parang I'm
mm,
doing live broadcast. Yan, I'm with John. I see on my left, yan si Nisi. Sabi, I see Nisi on my left, and my right, I see Alvin and Rika. Sabi ko,
mm,
so these are the voices you will see you will hear when
mm,
you hear the coverage. Sabi ko, at least I know that the coverage that they will do are very comprehensive. They're educational, di ba?
mm,
And
mm.
hindi siya at least ang alam ko, I'm very confident that the intent is to educate people, 'di ba? Kasi dapat graduate na tayo dun sa mga, ayun, tinamaan, masakit, naku, nakabog, naku. I'm like, wala na eh. Tapos na tayo sa era na yun eh. Nandun na tayo sa, 'di ba? Kailangan nagle-level up ka kasi yun yung yun yung kailangan nating makita. Kasi ako nakita ko yun eh. Nakita ko
Mm,
yun eh. Like
mm,
Rika, the people you're seeing in your screens are people who grew up within this industry. I literally grew up in this industry. I grew up in a boxing gym. I grew up in an MMA gym. So
mm, mm.
I know the people here. I know the coaches. I know the gyms. I know the industry and the community. So alam kong hindi tanga yung mga tao dito. So bakit ko sila
Definitely.
bibigyan ng serbisyong pangit?
Tama.
'Di ba?
Mm,
'Di ba?
mm,
Ba't ko bibigyan ng commentary na pangit, 'di ba? I mean,
mm.
it's ano
That's
eh,
true.
'di ba? Nasanay naman ng mga tao na 'pag pinapanood nila si Pacquiao or si
Mm,
Magsayo, 'di ba? Ang analyst, ang anchor, 'yan sila Ward, sila Bernard Hopkins, 'di ba? So naiintindihan nila yung
Sean
commentary ng mga 'yon.
Porter, oo.
'Di ba, So bakit
Mm.
tayo hindi natin kayang gawin 'yon? So that's one of the main reasons
Um,
why
I want
one
to
of the main
answer why.
go, go, go. Let's do this, Rika. Let's do this.
You know the thing, Franco, we can't, I don't want to say stoop kasi I believe that people are intelligent. You know,
Mhm.
a brief background lang kung ano ang
Go for
pinanggalingan
it.
ko as a content creator, no. I was
Mm.
actually an ethnographer, an ethnomusicologist. This is something like parang anthropology yung background ko.
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
really have experience immersing in communities, talking to common folk, talking to
Mhm.
people, and that's my forte. So I
Mm.
try to like talk to yung kumbaga wala na tayo dun sa who, what, where, pero we
Mm.
want the whys and the hows and what
Yes.
motivates them, what drives them. So ako, ang dami ko na ring nakausap and alam ko yung mga tao hindi tanga.
Oo.
But if you feed them trash, they'll be
Yeah.
parang baka maniwala na rin sila na basura sila, 'di ba? Kasi you keep
Oo.
feeding them trash. So for me, like us, 'di ba, we have the same prinsipyo na give them something na maintindihan nila yan eh. 'Di
Mm.
ba? If you try to give them quality content,
Mm.
it won't make you rich, it won't make you, I don't know, sikat, but I don't care kasi parang what I want is for people to kumbaga ma-elevate yung ano nila, yung pag-appreciate nila sa sport, maging alam mo yun, it doesn't take certain kind of person to be a boxing connoisseur. If you're consuming boxing, sana man lang, 'di ba, yung naiintindihan mo. And that's what we try to do, 'di ba? That's what we try to give people, no, quality content, and yun nga mas kumbaga yeah, yun.
And there's a market for it. There's a market for it.
Yeah,
Sakto.
definitely.
Sakto yung nagchichismisan kami ni Rika, balik na uli si JC. Kita mo
Ay,
naman
JC.
talaga.
Nagloko yung signal
Nagloko
ko.
yung
Change,
signal
ano
ni
ka?
JC.
Oo.
Diba? JC,
Change
ikaw.
location.
Diba? JC is another person that's really could really provide a really good input here. Before we ask him, teka lang, dumaan muna tayo sa ating comment section. Ayan po, yes, shoutout sa si Macy Bar. Sino si parang familiar to Macy Barber?
UFC.
Sino ba to?
UFC.
UFC.
Okay, great performance last night. Okay. Kita nyo, ganun ako kasama sa pangalan talaga, okay?
Same.
Then of course, our favorite coach, Coach Gabay. Thank you so
Coach
much.
Gabay.
Good luck sa yung South na seminar, and of course, Annie Toshi. One of the best bags in Metro Manila, Annie Toshi from Alain Lim.
May bago silang
Ayan.
mga lalabas daw yata na line ng bag si Anitoshi. So,
oo, may bagong labas yung mga yan. Okay, Jesus Bautista, what's up, bro? And of course, all the way from Jensen, shout out Coach Titing. Di ba?
Wow.
Oo.
Coach.
May laban uli si Pit eh. Alam ko may laban uli si Pit. Okay. Parang ayan, May 28 sa Binyan, Laguna, RP Youth Championship. So,
Great.
sana we get to hang out with him, and of course, our good friend Mark San Juan. What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Ayan, sakto darating tayo doon sa PMAF na nangyari over the weekend. Ano to? Sino to? Wow, malapit sa amin. Yung kinukwento ni Rika, yung gym. Baka malapit. Malapit daw sa kanila. So, daan ka doon sa gym, enroll ka sa boxing program nila, mag-workout ko doon. Okay? And of course, yung idol namin, si General Lausa, just opened his gym, Rebel 2, there in Taft Avenue. Rebel 2 gym there in Taft Avenue. Dadaanan namin yan. Ayan, Rika, I think you can answer this question. Any advice you can give in handling negative thoughts before and during fights?
Who asked that? Elaine, no? Hi, Elaine.
Elaine.
Yeah. Actually, oo, mahirap to kasi pag female fighter ka talaga, ang daming gumagano sa'yo. Hindi mo kaya. Ba't mo ginagawa yan? But the thing with me is I have a great coach. So, shout out sa coach ko, Coach Flores. My coach always tells me, ako lang ang pakinggan mo. Which is true. When you're an athlete, di ba? You only have to, kasi kung papakinggan mo lahat, wala. You, ma-overwhelm ka. So with me, I always listen to my coach kung anong gagawin ko. I am the prize. So if I have a fight, yun lang iniisip ko parate. And less distraction. So before the fight, I turn off my phone. I don't look at my phone. Siguro.
That's a good practice. Okay.
Diba? You don't look at your phone. You don't think of anything else. Wala na yung mga picture-picture. Hindi na ako nagsi-selfie. Hinayaan ko na yung ibang taong gumawa. Next is I try to meditate. Maybe that is one aspect na siguro some other fighters need to incorporate in their. It doesn't have to be yung parang meditation na new agey kind of meditation. We all have our ways, di ba, Franco, of meditating, of concentrating. It can be a prayer. It can be like mindful meditation. So I try to do that, and you know what? It worked for me. So, yun yung mga things that I do so that I flush out the negative thoughts in my head.
Ayan, I hope that answered your question, Brother Elaine. And of course, yun yung sa mga paborito nating coaches, si Coach Rush Campana, all the way from Las Piñas. Okay. Diba? Good job. Okay. Ayan, sakto. Yan, plugging tayo kay Coach Janelle, Rebel 2 Combat Sports and Fitness. Go check him out on Instagram and on Facebook. Yan. We'll do ako, as much as possible, me with the Philippine MMA Federation, at least I'm doing my best. Me, Prof. Richard, and Lester Del Rosario to go around the gyms and visit the PMAF affiliated gyms to train with the people, share our knowledge, diba? Whether it's in the grappling or in the MMA proper, yan. Tsaka ito, JC, ano ka tutuwa ka dito? Yung dati nating guest, si Benson Aguirre, nakikinig ngayon. What's up, Benson?
Oo nga.
Hope you're enjoying. Ito, Rika, ito yung naging guest namin to before. Tapos, nag-die down na yung issue sa kanya, yung bullying video. Tapos ngayon, naka-enroll siya sa DEFTA Cavite under Mike Dato. So I hope you're enjoying I hope you're enjoying your jiu-jitsu journey and enjoy the process. Okay, mag-enjoy ka lang dyan. Magaling yung coach mo. Magaling yan si Coach Mike Dato, one of my training partners yan. Now, going back to Rika's journeys, okay, dapat talaga, maglalabas ka ba ng vlog about this, Rika? Dapat i-vlog mo rin yan. So, after any gyms you were able to hang out in when you were in Bohol?
When I was in, PMI Boxing Stable. So all the coaches there, shout out. We have Coach Nino Alnaiz, no? Si Coach Nino, trinain ako. Coach Edsel was there, also Coach Paul. Coach Giovanni Sultan, who is from Zamboanga, the brother of Jonas Sultan. I also got to train with him. Yun, actually, basically, dun lang kami sa PMI. And then I would also like to thank Sir Podot. Sir Podot is the manager and the promoter of PMI. And I'd like to congratulate him for the great job he's doing. You know what? PMI has 2 champions in their stable.
Wow.
Reggie Sugano, the IBF youth flyweight champion.
Nice.
And light flyweight, I think. Light flyweight, yeah.
Light flyweight.
Yeah, and now Jake Amparo. So can you just imagine, diba? They must be doing something right. Or they are definitely doing something right at PMI. And at the same time, yun nga, you know, Franco JC, the good thing about what I'm doing isn't actually parang secondary na lang yung covering the event. But the fact that I get to, I immersed myself. I always do that. I try to live what the people are living. Parang alam mo yun, yung hindi, ayoko na, as much as possible, ayoko na naka-hotel ako, nakahiwalay ako sa athletes. Kasi nagsimula ako as an athlete. Nung nag-national games ako in the past, I could easily stay in my tita's house in Makati. Kasi malapit yun sa Quirino sa Manila. But I chose to stay inside the public school kasi doon kami naka-house. Para nakakain ko yung kinakain ng athletes. Natutulog ako sa sahig. I don't make myself comfortable because I believe the only way you can understand and live the life of an athlete or a boxer is to live that
the way they do.
Yeah. So parang ako, yun yung trinay ko. Every place I try to or I go to, that's what I look for. The experience, the learning, the lessons, the people that I meet, friendship, connections, meaningful connections, not connection for trabaho, but connections that yung alam mo yun, very very kumbaga tao sa tao na connection.
And these are the things that people don't normally see behind this. Yung mga things that happen behind the scenes, like what are the training conditions, what's the daily grind, the monotonous processes, 'di ba? Yung gym atmosphere, ito yung hindi rin kasi nakikita ng tao. So it's really really good that there are fighters like you who can narrate the story. The problem is this ito rin yung this is the gap that me, Rika, JC, Karl De Mesa, the really good content creators out there, 'di ba? Yan si Real Fight PH, si PH Boxing Corner. I could personally vouch for these people. Yan, one of my other good friends, si Nisi Casiano. These are the people, we are that group that's bridging the gap between narrating the story of a fighter's journey from the gym all the way to the ring. Ang nakikita lang kasi ng audience yung kung ano yung nasa ring 'di ba? Kung nanalo, natalo, nabugbog, nambugbog, 'di ba? That's why it's so easy for people to judge. It's so easy for people to ridicule fighters kasi ang nakikita nila yung result, hindi nila nakita yung process, hindi nila
Tama.
nakita yung pinagdadaanan ng mga fighter natin. Kaya like best example was when Michael Dasmariñas lost to Inoue. Everyone was
That's
putting
horrible.
blaming shit on putting a lot of heat on Dasmariñas, and I go tell them, alam niyo ba kung saan nagte-train niya si Dasmariñas? Alam niyo ba yung training conditions niya, di ba? You have no idea what he's going through. You haven't been to Hardstone in La Union.
Exactly.
You haven't, diba? You haven't seen him train. Diba? You haven't, and for you to say all of those things, diba? So with all those limitations, diba? Doon yung makikita yung tapang niya that he fought a Naoya Inoue. Diba?
Exactly.
Diba? And
yeah.
sabi ko, and ito yun. That loss probably made him better. So yung, diba, yung last na kinover natin, Rika, diba, sa VSP, he demolished Danny Tampipi in a few rounds, diba? So these are,
it's not a pushover, diba?
Danny Tampipi is not a pushover.
Yeah.
Sobrang gamer yung tao na yun.
Exactly.
Nakakatatlong Danny
Give you a
Tampipi
fight.
fights na.
Diba?
Sobrang gamer yung tao yun. Wild.
Exactly.
As in, walang takot yung taong yun. And for him to stand toe-to-toe with Michael Dasmariñas, and Dasmariñas demolished him, it clearly showed na ganun yung caliber ng mga Pinoy fighters natin. Kaya rin yun yung pinaka when I started coming back to cover fights, boxing fights mga 2018 or 19, I mean, sabi ko, okay, we have to address a gap. So that's when I started talking to JC here. And JC said, these are the things that's currently happening. Sabi ko, okay, so I think there's a gap here that we can fill in. And then we were very happy to see na you're here as well, Rika. There's Alvin's here, Alvin goes here, diba? And then there are other commentaries and content creators that's bringing the right stories, diba? You have to tell the story right kasi. And Rika's doing a great job by immersing herself in that culture. So with that, follow-up question ko kay Rika, anong nakikita mong difference? Kasi, di ba, balik tayo sa statement na sinabi mo, these tables are probably doing something right. So what were your observations training with the people in the provinces versus, di ba, meron bang differences yung training sa probinsya compared to training here in Metro Manila?
You mean the commercial gyms here? Kasi we definitely have great gyms here naman din. Like, I'd like to credit, of course, we have the Elorde gym in South Box, no? The home of so many champions as well. But if we compare it to, say, like commercial gyms, I wouldn't name commercial gyms na lang.
Hindi, yung commercial gyms kasi mga ano yan fitness boxing yan, di ba? Sexy boxing yan. They have their own market Pero in terms of, let's stick to gyms, local gyms that provide, diba, or that produce professional fighters. Kasi ako, ang pinaka number one observation ko when I train locally here in the city versus I get to train with people in the provinces. Number one, there's less distractions. Diba? There's less distractions. Tapos ikaw, diba, when you're in Bohol, diba? Pag nasa probinsya ka in general, paglabas mo,
great
gym
environment.
na.
And
diba?
it's a great environment, no? When you say road run doon, bundok. You can do running, you can do road run na hindi ka nauusukan na, baka may fear na masagasaan ka or whatever. Definitely siguro the environment and food. Kasi like nung nandun ako
mas healthy, ano?
ang saya-saya ko kasi araw-araw isda. Dito sa Manila, di ba yung isda ginto? So I'm like, oh my God, sige, 2 piraso ng salmon. Natitipid ko
diba? So in terms of, tapos mas abundant ang gulay, diba? So you got, diba, cleaner air, better environment, less distractions, better nutrition. Diba? Do you think that those, like for example, the entire environment ng pagiging nasa probinsya, does it contribute to your focus? Does it help you concentrate more on training? Diba?
Siguro depende. There are some people who, no matter where you put them, hindi talaga sila made for that kind of environment. But yun nga, in terms of like focus, the good thing about being, kasi yun nga, most of the boxers at PMI or at Noy Pasing, they do their camp in the gym na nandun
Yes.
na yung housing.
Oo.
So, wala doon yung pamilya, wala doon yung... Wala, ikaw lang nandun.
Okay.
Like for example, in PMI, ang alam ko, like their families get to visit them from time to time, like a few times in a month. But they're housed inside, kasi PMI is a school eh. It's
Okay.
PMI colleges. So it's marine engineering
Philippine
courses.
Marine Institute.
Yeah, so
Yung PMI.
they're inside the gym. As
Wow!
well as,
Yung pala
Yun. And then Norge, at the same time, Norge, nung nasa Noy Pasing siya, she left her family elsewhere. And then nandun siya for a month. So wala ka talagang ibang iisipin. Pagkatapos mo mag-train, tulog ka, pahinga ka, recover, ganyan, hapon training ulit. So it's
so
that,
twice a day. So it was twice a day training.
kasi it's, you know what, Franco JC, this is something that people have to understand, no? Ang hirap maging atleta kasi sa ibang bansa, pwede ka maging atleta full-time nang hindi ka mamamatay sa gutom. Kasi it's a different condition eh. There's more support. But here, may mga atleta tayo na iba na they have to work pa. Imagine, they work, diba? Train ka sa
So for
umaga,
example,
trabaho ka.
with all those yung experience mo doon, do these fighters just fight or do they have day jobs?
At PMI, I think they are just fighting, which is a
Okay, that's
great
good.
thing. I mean, I have to commend Sir Podot and the people in PMI kasi they created that kind of environment na talagang training lang kayo. Diba? You just be a fighter. And then sa Noy Pasing naman, the same thing. Parang they're there, yun, fighter lang talaga, boxer lang talaga sila. Ganyan. Yeah, so I think malaking bagay na yun lang yung ginagawa mo eh. Kasi hindi natin makakaila na when your attention is divided, it's hard to fight. Yun yung kailangan maintindihan ng normal
Tsaka
na mga tao.
that's a huge investment. That's a huge investment. So thank you so much, Noy Pasing and PMI Boxing Stable. That's a huge investment on their parts, 'di ba? Malaking risk 'yun eh. 'Di ba? Bibre mo for a fighter, ang pinaka, especially for fighters who are up and coming or you're trying to build your career, ang pinaka ano mo kagad is food, shelter, clothing, training. Yun yung primary ano mo eh. Yun yung kailangan mo kagad, immediate need. And all of a sudden, it's there. So all you have to do now is show up and train. So that's really, really good.
Not just that, also pala Omega Boxing Gym, they also have in-house boxers there.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Omega Boxing.
Diba? Omega Boxing. And then also Villamor Boxing Gym. So si Coach Edito, Coach Edmond Villamor are also where Donnie Nietes trains, of course. So yun, we have all these gyms giving our boxers the best conditions to train. Diba? So I think that makes a lot of difference.
Another one is Sandman Promotions. Yan, si Sandman Gym. Sandman. Oh, alam ko may ano rin sila, may stable sila and then they provide for their boxers.
Elorde, diba?
Elorde rin. Yan, si Elorde. So it's a really, really good these are the stables that yun din, 'di ba? May results din ngayon, 'di ba? Ang dami nilang napoproduce na magagaling na fighters, they're producing champions. So it's just
before I forget also Kibors, Olivetti Boxing Gym, Kibor.
Oh yeah.
Kibors. Kibors just did an event.
What else? Kibor,
Si Olivetti staple na yan eh.
Highland
Boxing Gym. Yan, classic din yan, classic. Yung mga yung gym nila sa Manila, 'di ba?
Survival camp din nila Coach Joven sa Bukidnon. So
yeah.
Oo nga, no.
Which, by the way, I'm flying on Thursday to Bukidnon.
Yan! Diba? You're going to cover their, they're gonna cover their camp. That's good.
No. They have a promotion. So may laban sa Saturday. It's titled Matira Matibay.
Okay.
It will be headlined by Samuel Salva. And my stablemate, Lito Dante, is also fighting there.
Wow. Nice. Diba? Kita mo, meron tayong exclusive from Baby Dynamite. Diba? Yeah. She's flying over to
Bukidnon.
So I'll be I'm gonna
leaving Thursday.
Also, I'm gonna commentate and the fight will be shown sa Joven Sports in YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
we will share that. We
Yes. Oo.
promote that as well. Joven
Mm-mm.
Sports on YouTube, live in Bukidnon, si Baby
Bukidnon.
Dynamite, 'di ba? Kita niyo naman,
Kita niyo yung luggage ko.
lakotsero
Nandiyan
po.
pa yung luggage ko, hindi ko pa na-unpack
Ready na.
Papalitan niya lang po ng damit yung kanyang bagahe at lalayas na naman po siya
Yalayas
papuntang Bukidnon, 'di
tayo.
ba?
So,
'Di ba?
boxing
And
is alive. Boxing is
yes,
thriving.
yes.
Diba?
Sobrang saya. Ako,
Definitely.
I'm very happy when I see posters in
Mm-mm.
combat sports kasi nga wala we're moving, and I really hope that we sustain this momentum,
Yeah.
'di ba?
Mm-mm.
A lot of
Mm-mm.
fighters are earning their livelihood, coaches and gyms are open, they're operating there, and people are heading to
Yeah.
gyms. Yun yung natutuwa ako. Masaya ako na pag nakakita ako ng bukas na gym na maraming tao, na masaya yung mga tao kasi nga 'di ba? It's ang lifeblood talaga ng kahit na anong gym are the members and the community behind it. So, let's
Definitely.
talk about some fights. Eto tayo ngayon. Let's start with JC and then we'll go with Baby Dynamite. Jonas Sultan versus Paul Butler. Si JC kasi meron siyang
Tagal ko na
initial
sinusundan
meron siyang initial na prediction. Tapos nung napanood ko yung laban, sabi ko, shit, parang ito yung sinabi ni JC. So JC, your thoughts on the Butler and Sultan fight?
Diba yung mismo ang game plan na nakita ni Butler na ginamit ni Rigondo kay Casimero. But better. Yun yung mismo gagamitin niya kay Casimero dapat kung natuloy yung laban nila. Which is exactly what he used nung si Sultan na yung kalaban niya. He didn't have to change a lot in his game plan. Ito naman kasing si Sultan din, alam natin ilang araw lang din naman talaga siyang tinapat kay ilang araw na lang naman bago niya nalaman na si Butler na yung kalaban niya, which would definitely be hard na makapag-isip ka pa ng game plan doon sa kalaban mo eh. If anything, sabi naman nila pagdating niya naman sa UK, halos kuha niya na yung timbang. So meron silang sobrang liit na panahon para mag-prepare exactly for the opponent. Pero yun nga, katulad ng pinanggit ko in our previous episodes, si Butler kasi, katulad ng parang naging prediction ko na rin na I think kung ano man mangyari, si Butler yung posibleng manalo kasi lalo na dito sa matchup na to kasi busit na siya. Technically, kung titingnan natin, nabibisit na siya. So, mula pa noong December, na ang tagal niya nagpe-prepare sa laban tas maka-cancel lang, and ngayon lalo na naka-cancel na. Muntik na naman maka-cancel. So syempre yung he's hungrier. Kumbaga ano ba yung tawag na hungry na
hungry na siya.
So yun na nga, unfortunately naging receiving end nung hunger niya si Jonas Sultan.
Yeah.
Diba? And ikaw, Rika, were you able to see the fight? Were you able to watch that fight? Hindi.
Sobrang busy, grabe. Kapon na sa chocolate hills.
Ako magugulat nga ako kung napanood mo siya eh. Magugulat na ako talaga kung ano. Diba?
You know what, funny story isingit ko lang. So sobrang pagod ko kahapon, nagpa-home massage ako. So humiga akong ganyan. Dito lang sa bahay, sa kama. Pagising ko tapos na, nakatulog ako. I was like,
hindi mo na rin naramdaman.
Ano yun? Akala ko magsa-start pa lang. So, ma'am, tapos na po. What the fuck? Ay, sorry, what the hell?
Diba? Na-relax ka agad. Na-relax
pagod,
ng bonggang-bongga.
But diba? I have something, I have my thoughts regarding that fight actually. Yun na nga I think it's a classic case of a come-forward fighter and a boxer, a pure boxer. So, yun naman yung, it's a tale as old as time. How to beat a slugger or a come-forward boxer. You box.
You box.
You box. And kung kaninong style yung manaig, yun ang mananalo. Yun lang naman yun eh. It doesn't mean na mas magaling yung isa or mas malakas yung isa. You know, yung mga fans kasi minsan nakita nila, yun lang dimension na yun. Parang nagiging ano siya talaga. Nagiging ano tuloy siya. Parang, I don't know, they don't see the little things that we know and that we see. And there's nothing simple about that fight. I think you know what I'm trying to say. No? It's not a simple apa ka lang sa ring yun na. There's so many things that's going on in and outside the ring. So, for me, nakakalungkot lang na at the end of the day, imbis na, kumbaga, i-comfort natin yung mga kapwa nating Pilipino, yung mga fans na una pa to like put them down, so parang doon ako
That's true.
medyo nalulungkot.
And tawag dito, for this next question, we'll go with Baby Dynamite and then let's cap it off with JC. So we have to give props to Jonas Sultan. Okay,
Yeah.
so I will echo what Rika said kanina. It's a classic boxer versus slugger. Paul Butler just simply utilized the entirety of the ring. Okay, he used the entirety of the ring to run around. Okay, and sorry, he wasn't running around. He was implementing really good lateral movement. He was quick on his feet. He knew when to counter. His shots were perfectly timed, and yung strategy niya was well placed. And you can only attribute that to his corner. Kasi the first half, he was moving around, a lot of ring movement, quick feet, nice footwork, counter punching. Towards the second half of the fight, that the 6th round or 7th round to the 12th round, that's when he started attacking. So he was mixing up his counter punching with really good offense. Yun yung yung kailangan mapansin ng tao. Okay? And he implemented a really good game plan. He knew that Jonas Sultan will be the aggressor and he would come forward. So ang gagawin lang niya, he would lure Jonas in and then counter punch, run away or move away, move out of that range. What Jonas Sultan could have done was cut the ring. Yun yung medyo hindi nagawa ni Jonas Sultan. Now, on the side of Jonas, you have to understand this guy was prepared to replace either Casimero or Butler. Okay? Siya yung in limbo doon. So, you have to give the guy major props and big credit kasi he was the replacement fighter for both fighters and he came in on weight. So, pasok siya sa timbang. Di ba? Di ba? Walang kasiguruhan yon. Okay? Walang kasiguruhan yon. Everything was uncertain until fight night. Okay? So, for this to unfold, mabilis eh. From 0 to 100 kaagad yung trajectory niya eh. Di ba? From replacement, all of a sudden, main event ka. So, you could just imagine the roller coaster ride that Jonas Sultan had to endure and had to go through, and he passed with flying colors. I was very impressed with how Jonas Sultan performed that night. Diba? Butler did really, really well. Diba? He won. Fair and square, he won. But if you add everything that Jonas Sultan had to go through, okay, he learned more, he experienced more, and he will come out the better fighter on this one. I think if they fight again, he would have a better game plan. Now, this is probably the best follow-up question to that to ask my fellow co-host here. Where does Casimero come into the equation? Diba? What do you think should Casimero and his camp do in order to get their shit together? Diba? And hopefully, diba? Let's start with Rika, kasi Rika is also immersed within the boxing community. She has the pulse of the audience, the promoters, the boxers, and as a fighter, diba? There are so many distractions eh. How do you get things back in line? Diba? How do you put things in order?
You know what? I always say surround yourself with people who have your best interests in mind. So have a good team na for I mean I think ano ba? Na-interview ko na yan si Cuadro Alas. He's mabait siya talagang tao. Kahit sinong tanongin mo na kilala siya. 'Di ba? He's a great guy. Pero yun nga, he has to put up a persona para i-market yung sarili niya. Now, that's okay as long as you have a person trying to at least pull you back kapag medyo sobra na, no? So, kumbaga, I think yun yung role ng coach, manager, assistant coach. Like for me kasi yun nga, what I did, independent kasi ako eh. So, I have my coach, I have my assistant coach. And then, yun lang yung, kumbaga, alam ko kasi na yung, hindi nila ako ipapahamak. Hindi nila ako, yun, yung pare-parehas kami ng goals, parehas kami ng nakikita. And he has to align himself or he has to choose people who will do the same for him. Kasi sobrang, pwede kasi na, or, pwede rin naman kasi na they do have your best interest at hand, but wala silang alam sa boxing. Kasi yung boxing is a business. Boxing is a, di ba? Iba yung galawan sa boxing eh. So, kailangan yung tao na hahawak sa'yo is someone who can navigate the boxing world. So, yun. I think yun yung kailangan niyang gawin because he is teeming with potential. He has everything na kailangan ng isang tao para maging champion. But
do you think there's still time to turn things around?
It's crucial. Now's the time. Kasi
Yun.
diba? Kasi with me, you can be the best boxer in the world, but if you don't have, kung hindi ka konektado sa mga tamang tao, you can't, you know that, diba, Franco? You can be the best boxer, but if you're not connected,
if you don't know the right
people,
you're not gonna get anything.
Exactly.
Diba? If you're burning bridges and you're not building good relationships, diba?
And you know what? Ang dami ko nakikita sa comment section. Kasi ako dyan eh. Parang I like reading comments just because gusto kong makita ko yung mga timpla ng pag-iisip ng mga tao. Yung I want to get a sense of how they think.
Like the pulse of the people?
Yung comments nila, yung mga tipong, dapat pumili na lang siya ng kalaban na ganito. Parang ako, obviously, people don't know. You don't just do that. You can't just say, gusto kitang kalaban. Pwede ba kitang kalabanan? Hello? You don't just call somebody. And there are so many things that you need to do to get a fight with someone. So parang, yun yung kailangan intindihan ng mga tao. It's not as simple as trying to call somebody, setting up a fight. It doesn't work that way. So that's the sad reality. And if he wants to turn his life around, now is the time. And feeling ko, kaya pa. It's still redeemable at this point. Now, nasa sa kanya na yun. Kasi, konti
na lang.
Konti na lang.
Konti na
You
lang.
can only make so much, you can only stumble as much. So, yun yung opinion ko.
Diba? And Alain very much agrees, di ba? Very good. Siyempre, hindi namin aayain si Baby Dynamite dito. Hindi ko pa nag-aaya ng mga ampaw na dito, ng mga guest dito.
Mga PLDT yata tayo.
JC, you have been one of the more hindi man avid followers, pero you were breaking down these things and you were giving us feedback. Lalo na pag nagchichismisan kami doon sa group chat namin. How do you see this panning out, di ba? So far, yung mga analysis ni JC and yung mga binabanggit mo na pwede mangyari, nangyayari, di ba? Are they self-destructing? And the same question with Rika, do you think that there's still time for Casimero to turn things around?
Wala ba ako? Wait lang.
Hindi, yan. Naririnig ka namin.
Wait lang.
Naku, nawawala si JC. Sige, habang bumabalik ayan, okay ka na ba, JC? Parang nawawala na naman yung internet po ni JC, yung sa East Coast po. Sana naman po yung internet po. Susunod na presidente po natin, magpapasok po kayo ng panibagong telco companies dito.
Yes.
Para
Okay. Ayan na, balik na yata ako. Ayun. So, John Riel Casimero, kung titingnan natin dito, based on sa nakikita natin as outsiders, kasi wala naman tayo sa loob ng camp niya, so far, ang nangyayari, everybody around him are yes men.
Mm.
Walang nag-filter sa kahit anong binabalak niya gawin eh. Even nung nasa MP promotions pa siya, yan exactly yung naging problema. Even, kung aalalahanin natin, even si Sean Gibbons, na president ng MP promotions, was tolerating everything that he was doing. Kasi nga, well, pambenta niya yung trash talking niya, pambenta niya yung ingay niya eh. Pero, you know, you do that to a certain extent na hindi naman mag-overboard. And syempre, you do everything na you walk your talk. Eh, sa kaso na to, parang sa sobrang lala nung situation niya is, you know, nawala na siya sa MP promotions. Tapos, after niya mawala doon, nagkanda kung ano-ano na nangyari sa career niya. I mean, yung fight niya noong December, dapat, if he was still with MP Promotions, I'm sure, nakuha niya sana yung weight, natuloy sana yung laban. And by now, siguro, ang inaasahan na nating laban is, we don't know kung si Donaire na o si Inoue na sana yung scheduled na fight niya na next eh. Kaya lang, because of everything that's been going on sa camp niya, na-cancel yung laban niya, it had to be rescheduled. Tapos ito nga, yung mismong pag-reschedule ng laban niya, nagka-problema pa rin. Meaning, you know, whoever is around him right now, hindi nila sure kung ano yung mangyayari. Kung anong gagawin pala nila. Kasi, sakto yung napanood ko sa live ni Coach Jerry Peñalosa. They did a sort of preview dun sa magiging laban sana na ni Sultan and
Ni
Butler. Yes. Tapos nabanggit na rin nila yung nangyayari kay Casimero. I forgot kung sino nag-mention exactly, pero nakalimutan nga din ng lahat. This is not the first time na lumaban si Casimero in the UK, which means dapat alam niyo yung policies ng British Boxing Board of Control. Sa weight cuts and sa zona thing na yun. Zolani, Tete, Charlie Edwards, both fights were done in the UK. Tapos itong pangatlo. So, imposibleng hindi niya alam yung rules. Or, baka bago to, hindi natin alam. Kasi, hinahanap ko din actually yung information about their medical yung mga regulations nila about dun sa weight cut process na pinapayagan nila at hindi. Pero wala ko exactly makita or hindi ko palang makita kung nasaan. Pero anyway, merong in the end, meron talagang kailangang magsabi kay Casimero na pakikinggan niya talaga na, hey, tama na tong mga pinagagawa mo. Lalo na kung if, you know, parang it's bound to happen unfortunately based dun sa nangyari in the UK and dun sa nakasulat sa resolution ng WBO last December na if for any reason na hindi matuloy si Casimero sa fight, he will be stripped. So it's most possibly bound to happen na mawawalan siya ng title. Kung makaligtas siya ulit ngayon, there should be a wake-up call for him. Kung hindi man siya makaligtas, mas lalo na. I mean, he should know by now na he needs to straighten up his act. Kasi nga, ando ka na sa taas, tapos dahil sa mga pinagagawa mo, biglang bubuluso ka pababa. Sayang yung 3 taon niya nang tinatrash talk si Inoue, hindi mangyari nga yung laban. Lalo pa ngayon na wala siyang maayos na pag-handle ng team. Paano pa niya lalong ma-achieve yung pagiging unified champion or undisputed champion sa bantamweight division, di ba? Yun yung isa sa pinakamalaking bagay. Meron nga din sa Bolo Punch Boxing Forum, meron yung isang admin doon, si Bernardo Aguirre, meron siyang parang ginawang post a few days ago. Sinabi niya, doon sa post niya, he was asking na kung ikaw ang magiging manager ni John Riel Casimero, paano mo i-handle yung career niya with 5 points to consider. Number 1, kung sino yung trainer niya. Number 2, kung kailangan niya ba ng nutritionist. Number 3, kung kailangan niya ba ng tune-up. Number 4, kung ilang fights ang kailangan niya before siya lumaban sa ibang champs. And number 5, kung gaano ka strict, magiging gaano ka strict in terms of discipline. So syempre, yung isa trainer, I think okay na sana yung kay George Capetillo or kung sino mang, or at least he needs a coach na talagang papakinggan niya. Hindi ko sure na kung si Jason man ang nag-handle ng coaching niya ngayon. I'm not sure that Jason is doing a great job. Kasi kuya nga ba niya si John Riel? So kung kuya niya si John Riel, makikinig ba yung kuya sa mas bata in terms of ganitong klaseng sistema na sa coaching nga? Ang pangalawa, of course, he definitely needs a nutritionist. Kasi part ng process ng pagkuha ng timbang ng isang fighter is the nutrition. Kung that's part of the whole science of it. Pag walang proper nutrition, tas bro science gagawin mo na isona lang, takbo-takbo lang na weight cut, patay tayo dyan. And then, tune-ups, I'm sure he will probably need that. Lalo na kung if for some unfortunate reason talagang mawalan na siya ng title, hindi siya pwedeng basta na lang umakyat. He needs to fix everything first bago siya lumaban sa kahit kanino, kahit sa tune-ups. Sabi ko nga dun sa post, I think he probably needs 2 to 3 fights kung mawalan man siya ng title o hindi bago siya lumaban sa kahit kaninong champs. Kasi doon natin malalaman kung maayos niya na yung training niya and yung pagkuha niya ng weight. Kasi hindi biro yung dalawang magkasunod na nagka-problema sa weight Then lastly, yung how strict will you be in terms of discipline. At yung natawa sila dito pero sabi ko nga, I think this is one of the best possible ways para sa akin na maayos yung camp ni Casimero. Binanggit ko doon na bawal siya gumamit ng phone habang nasa camp. Kasi sobrang nasa ng vlogging Alam natin lahat yun. And katulad ng ginagawa ni Manny Pacquiao, diba? Remember, alam ko hindi basta-basta pwede magpasok ng phone or any other recording devices sa training. Kasi nga, kamukha niyan. I mean, I'm sure hindi lang siya yung gumawa na nag-sona sa training to cut weight. Pero hindi lahat sila nag-record ng ginagawa nila. So, hindi sila napahamak. Tapos, ang gagawin sa lahat na may papasok sa gym niya, na may dalang phone, lahat confiscated. Iwan dun sa reception or wherever na hindi nila pwedeng galawin unless lumabas sa gym. Tapos, bawal na bawal ang alcohol and smoking or kung ano mang bisyo, kahit fast food. Kasi, siguro masyado akong observant, pero ng mga past camps niya, kahit nung nasa MP Promotions pa siya, may mga kasama siya sa camp na nagvo-vlog. Habang nagtitraining sila sa laban, medyo mabigat dating na accusation, pero I'm sure nandun pa yung vlog May mga nakita, di ko alam kung ano yun pero may nakita kang mga bote ng whiskey and rum sa gym. Napaka champion. Bakit ka maglalagay ng ganun sa gym? Hindi ko alam kung sino nakaisip na gumawa nun. Pero, di ba? Parang it goes to show na parang medyo alanganin yung doon sa discipline part. Kasi kung disiplinado ka, kung alam mo may laban kang darating, may paghahandaan kang something, lahat ng bisyo putol.
And kahit hindi siya yung umiinom, I mean, the people around him should be sensitive na wag mo nang ibalandro sorop nun.
Siyempre, kung mahilig siyang uminom, tapos makita niya yun, lalo siyang maiinggit. Ayun, and yun nga yung kung sino man ang kayang mag-discipline kay John Riel Casimero at this point, yun possibly ang makakatulong sa kanya to turn his career around and maging mas maayos na champ. I mean, there are other champs na ginagawa niya who are trash talking and everything, pero maayos lahat. A good example, si Tyson Fury. Although, heavyweight siya, hindi naman talaga, I don't think sobrang hirap mag-cut ng weight sa heavyweight kasi ang laki-laki na nila doon parang halos walking weight na nila yung mga timbang nila doon. Pero yung level ng trash talking ni Tyson Fury minsan medyo personal. Pero at least pagdating sa training, pagdating sa discipline, nandun siya. Yun ang dapat palagay ko para ma-turn around ni Casimero yung career niya. At this point, sayang I mean, ilang years na rin siyang champion sa bantamweight. I'm sure gusto niya rin ma-achieve yung closest na pwede sa naging career ni Manny Pacquiao na kung hanggang ilang divisions ang kaya niyang iakyat na maging champion siya. Pero at this point, I don't see that happening right now. Kasi may problema talaga siya sa camp. He has to acknowledge that and he has to do something about that ASAP.
And of course, isang malaking shoutout po at kamusta sa iyo Silver Lining TV, Sir Daryl Nacario. Hey, thank you for watching. Yan, please subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yes.
I will echo the sentiments and the words of my fellow co-hosts here. Which I think the first question we all have to ask is who is running the show in the Casimero camp? Because clearly it's not John Riel Casimero. He may probably be the face or he's probably covering up for the stupid acts of the people around him, pero it's costing him his career. I did a short video on my YouTube channel. I posted it on my Facebook. I also said na there's still time, but yes, Rika is very much correct. The time is now. Diba? You're wasting valuable time. You're wasting peak years of your career. These are peak years na pwede kang kumita ng malaki. Diba? You could get big win bonuses. You can get big fights. You could probably get a shot at Inoue or Donaire or both. Diba? Now, the thing is, you have to understand, we all have to know, or at least in John Riel's case, he's slowly diving into that deep abyss of the BJ Penn syndrome. All talent, diba?
Yeah.
All talent, became very popular and then practiced bad habits. And it cost
kinain
him...
ng fame, no?
Kinain siya ng fame, kinain siya ng clout, diba? Well, hopefully makarating to kay John Riel Casimero because we're all John Riel Casimero fans here.
Yeah.
And we say this with all love and admiration.
Of course.
May mga tao dyan sa camp mo na gusto lang makidick ride sa fame mo para sumikat sila. Diba? Na yan yung mga leeches, yan yung mga linta ng career mo. Kailangan you have to get things in order. You have to get your house in order para maging maayos din yung career mo. Kasi you have to understand, kaya ka sikat ngayon kasi professional boxer ka. Pagiging professional boxer, ang bread and butter mo. Pag hindi ka na professional boxer, pag hindi na ikaw si Cuadro Alas, pag hindi na ikaw ang angas ng Pinas, mawawala lahat ng ine-enjoy mo ngayon. Diba? I would rather see you in a pay-per-view fight that will earn you millions of dollars versus makita kita sa Battle of YouTubers. Wala kang future sa Battle of YouTubers. Wala. Kahit na anong sabihin sa'yo ng mga tao dyan, kahit
Barya
na anong
kikitain mo doon
bulong
compared sa kikitain mo
yan.
abroad.
Isipin mo na lang. You start winning fights. Diba? Diba? Manalo ka. Ang mapapanalunan mo, dollars. Tapos, international ang exposure mo. Hindi local. So, kung gusto mo mag-vlog ka abroad. Kasi ang audience mo, abroad. Mas malaki kita doon. Diba? If you get your shit together, you can earn more from vlogging and you can earn more as a professional fighter. Pero kailangan, you have to get things in order. So it's either mag-appoint ka ng tao na pakikinggan ng lahat or kailangan pakinggan ka ng lahat. Hindi pwedeng meron kang gagawin tapos merong mga tao sa paligid mo na didiskarte ng iba. The main reason why nawala tong laban na to sa'yo is because merong nag-video na nagsona ka. Tapos nakarating sa BBBOC. Ang haba, no? Boxing, British Boxing Board. Di ba? Di ba sabihin na natin, kakatwiran nila. Lahat naman nagsusona eh. Oo, pero kasi may video ka. Nahuli ka. Di ba?
Exactly.
So, di ba? Magkano yung nawala sa'yo sa Paul Butler fight? Di ba? Malaking pera yun. And bukod
feeling ko million na yun eh.
Go, Rika.
And yun nga, I'd like to say, sorry Baka makalimutan ko. It's not just, yun nga, tama, money, exposure and everything, but honor, di ba? Like, do something that your kids will be proud. That pag narinig ng mga anak mo or ng mga descendants mo, they're gonna be proud of you. Are they gonna say that when you fight your battle of YouTubers, di ba? Are they gonna say the same thing?
Maganda pa yung di ba? Parang naging WBO champion daddy ko versus sikat siya sa YouTube dati.
Oo. Or vlogger siya na may 1 million followers. Like, so what? I mean,
diba?
pinalaki tayo na, alam mo yun, at least yung generation natin, di ba? Na yung likes mo or yung money na natatanggap sa YouTube doesn't equate to you as, or hindi siya equal sa kung anong klaseng tao ka.
Yeah.
Diba? Yun.
Tsaka yun, there's nothing wrong with earning money, okay? Don't get us wrong here. There's nothing wrong with earning money, pero you could possibly earn more. Ang dami mo pang pwedeng kitain.
Lost opportunities yung nangyari ngayon.
Lost opportunities, napakarami, 'di ba? So sayang. So kung meron man, if you can turn your life around, you can turn your career around, now is the time. As in, ito na yun. Kasi 30 plus na siya eh.
Yeah.
Dapat papik ka na nun eh. Nagpipik na dapat yung career mo eh. Di ba? So, dapat by this time, hindi na mid-tier opponents ang nilalabanan mo. Dapat you're fighting for the big boys na. Di ba? And those right now, di ba, would be Sultan, Donaire, Inoue. Di ba? Sino pa ba yung mga champions from other organizations ng di ba? Those are the fights that you should be gunning for. Wait lang, ayan. Rika.
Hi, hello sir. Sir Jovel.
Marayan, shout out Ma'am Rika
Shout out.
Aquino. Di ba? So these are and tandaan naman natin, ikaw ang Cuadro Alas, ikaw ang angas ng Pinas, pero mapapalitan ka pag nalaos ka.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, okay? Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Kailangan mabawasan yung mga...
ngayon, from angas ng Pinas to laos ng Pinas, gusto mo ba yun?
Masyado maraming yes man sa paligid yan. Yan yung mga
yun talaga eh.
Diba, it's parang too fast, too soon, and hindi niya na-deal ng maayos yung fame, kumbaga. So hopefully it gets sorted out. Now, before we cap off the show, I would just like to give acknowledgement and congratulations to the Philippine MMA Federation for conducting another successful event. So I'll just run through the winners. These are their names: Joaquin Antanzo, Christopher Castro, Jem Anyota, Sofia Castro, Philip Halig, Shiro Yusuke, Nisha Halig, Rian Fabroa, Christian Yamzon, Renato Mirales, King Halig, Jeremy Torres, Kim Agreda, Gabriel Del Rosario, Carl Barbudo, Mika Malipot, Carla Adeza, Christine Cobales, Dennis Abuela, Lawrence Lavarias, John Patrick De Tomas, Rene Catalan Jr., Ezekiel Isidro, Harvey Villena, Van Arroyo, Edemel Catalan, Aaron Grefal, Sheila Gumanji, Analisa Panoso, Jessa May Carrera, Christine Tesorero, John Ilyarde, Angelo Arcangel, Fier Afan, Jeric Flores, Sam Goze, Gerald Villarde, JM Guntayon, Manzel Regala, Mark kita nyo, ang dami sumali nito nung These are the winners. These are the winners, okay? These are
Ganyan nakadami nag-MMA sa Pilipinas.
Mark Hernandez, Mark Perves, Israel Balisakan, Rakim Sabitchan, Freedom Flora, and Chucky Ruiz. So, ang format nito, Rika, si PMAF, si Philippine MMA Federation, ladder tournament to na MMA. So, may bracket kayo. So, depende kung gaano karami kayo sa bracket nyo, kung ilang beses ka lalaban. May mga brackets na maraming entries, na tatlong laban ka bago ka makarating sa finals. So, isipin nyo lang gaano ka-condition tong mga amateurs na to. Isipin nyo lang gaano katibay yung katawan nitong mga amateurs na to. Kasi talagang nakipagsabayan tong mga to. As in, it was a whole day affair.
Wow.
it was a ladder tournament and it
Mm-mm.
was tiring, but they all persevered. These are the names of the
Congrats.
fighters, diba? These are the name of the future of Philippine MMA, and we couldn't
Yeah.
be any prouder. Of course,
Mm-mm.
teka lang, puntahan natin of course, this will not be possible if not for the amazing people of the Philippine MMA Federation, and of course, the sponsors and the people who helped us. Teka lang, I have their list. Ayan, so we have to thank Payantog Sports. Thank you so much to Sigma Photo PH. Of course, the International MMA Federation. Yun din, ito, Rika,
Mm-mm.
yung PMAF, this is directly under International MMA Federation. So from
Wow.
PMAF,
Nice.
meron siyang line na meron kang progression, kumbaga. Makikita
Ang
mo kung saan yung
galing.
progression mo. And then of
Oo.
course, High Rollers Lifestyle, yan yung suot kong t-shirt, High Rollers Lifestyle.
Nice. Mm-mm.
And then the medical team, care of the Cardinal Santos Medical Center. So thank you so much for your support. And ayan, shout out din po sa aming kaibigan si MJ Bautista. MJ, thank you so much for watching and listening to the show. That's it for us. Baby Dynamite, Rika Aquino, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us. I hope
you.
you could join us again. Where can
Of
people
course.
find you? Okay, please plug your
Yeah.
socials. And
Mm-mm.
where
So,
are your next adventures?
so please follow Baby Dynamite Sports. And then this is in Facebook and meron din sa YouTube. So please follow. I also have Instagram, Rika.Aquino and Baby Dynamite Sports. And then please support Matira Matibay, no? This will be in Bukidnon. So sa mga taga Bukidnon na makakapunta, this is free admission. Yung mga nasa Davao, nasa Jensan, sige, gusto nyo magmotor, punta kayo. And then you can watch this Joven Sports. So ang main event is Jeffrey Galero versus Samuel Salva. Ito rin ang
Nice.
pagbabalik ni Lito Naruto Dante, ang ating former OPBF minimum weight champion. Ayan, ito ang kanyang journey pataas para maging world champion ulit. Ayan.
Yes. Thank you so much, JC. Anong
Yes.
ayan, bumalik na si
Ayun,
JC,
bumalik na.
nag-freeze. Alam nyo, yan,
Oo nga.
babalik ko ulit yung sinabi ko kanina, okay? Yung susunod na presidente, dapat magpapasok kayo ng ibang telco companies dito, okay? Magpapasok kayo ng,
Yes, please.
diba? Hindi pwedeng monopolize lang ng dalawa. Nakita mo yung kasama namin
Exactly.
dito, nasisira yung momentum niya, di ba? Okay, everybody, please follow, subscribe to Baby Dynamite Sports, Rika Aquino on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. Dapat mag-TikTok na rin tong si Rika. May TikTok ka na ba? Mag-TikTok ka na rin.
Ayun.
Ayan,
Ayun.
okay lang yan.
Ayun.
Ano yan, paunti-unti yan. Paunti-unti
Oo,
yan.
ayan.
Okay? Yan, yung mga nabubudol namin mag-TikTok. Okay? So,
Oo.
maglalagay din siya ng mga adventures niya doon, tsaka nung mga,
Yes,
we are a fan of the page, and we are a fan of Rika. And thank you so much for
much.
having us. And everyone, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week on another episode of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.